I am applying for the Wildlife Care Specialist position at the Texas State Aquarium Rescue Center. Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Rachel Pearson. I am a junior here at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. I am majoring in biomedical sciences and minoring in communications. Ultimately, I want to go to vet school and pursue a degree in veterinary medicine.
Based on your past job or educational experience, what qualifies you for this position?
So I worked at a vet clinic in New Braunfels as a kennel tech and a vet tech. There I did a variety of different things, ranging from appointments with the doctors to surgeries to general run to the back shot administrations, cleaning kennels, cleaning really everything at the clinic. Apart from that, I also volunteered and worked at the Texas State Aquarium as an exhibit host and volunteered as a naturalist. Basically, that is just teaching the guests, interacting with the guests about the animals, and explaining and answering their questions in any way, shape, or form, and making sure everyone was following the rules properly. I also volunteer here at the Rescue Center, also with the Texas State Aquarium, and I help clean, do bandage changes whenever that is needed, and feed the animals and prep the food for the next day.
What about us made you want to apply for this position?
So when I first moved to Corpus to come to college, I immediately started looking for volunteer opportunities to build my experience with animals, but also give back to the community in any way that I could. And the Texas State Aquarium was the perfect choice for me because it not only connected me with the animals and with the environment in a way that I hadn't before, but also it gave me that guest interaction that I would need in my future career as a veterinarian, at clinics, talking to clients and stuff like that. I love the Texas State Aquarium. As I mentioned before, volunteer here currently and worked here this past summer as an exhibit host. I feel that I fit the mission statement of the Texas State Aquarium, which is engage people with animals, inspire appreciation for our seas, and support wildlife conservation.
What is your greatest professional achievement?
This past spring semester, I received the Sports Club President of the Year award. I was president of the Sailing Club and am currently president again for another year. This achievement meant so much to me because I worked very, very hard that year. I was pretty much on my own, learning how to operate a sports club in college, and also learning what needed to be done within my sports club, but also getting organized and managing my time with classwork, travel paperwork, end of the year reports, the bank account, making sure we had enough money to travel the places that we needed to go for the regattas, for competing. But I was very honored to be given that because it's not only an award voted by the members of your club, but also in the sports club department and the people who are in charge of running all the sports clubs, and to be recognized and know that they appreciated all the hard work I did meant a lot to me.
Tell us about a time when you were involved in conflict in a previous job or educational setting. Elaborate on the situation and how was the conflict resolved?
So in my last job, which was an exhibit host at the Texas State Aquarium, I was at Dolphin Bay one day, and it was, of course, really crowded because everyone loves the dolphin show. So I was making sure everyone was entertained, answering any questions that they had, but also making sure everyone was following the rules there as well, keeping their hands behind the railings, staying out of the stairwells to keep the exits clear. And there was a family who was kind of sitting where we didn't typically allow guests to sit because it is kind of blocking the stairway, but when it is crowded, sometimes we're a little lenient about these things. So I had politely asked them, hey, you are kind of blocking the stairway, so if you wouldn't mind moving behind the rope, that would be greatly appreciated. And they then responded to me that another staff member had told them that they were allowed to sit there. And I said, okay, do you mind pointing out that staff member just so I can verify that it was actually a staff member, and so I could go have that communication with them. And they were like, oh yeah, sure, she's right over there. I was like, okay, well, thank you so much. I apologize for this miscommunication. I hope you enjoy the dolphin show. And so I went over to my coworker and I said, hey, the family over there, I had just asked them to move, but then they told me that you had allowed them to sit there. Is that right? She said, yeah, it's really crowded, so I figured I'd make that exception for them. I said, okay, like that's fine. Just make sure, you communicate with me next time, just so we don't have this debacle in front of the guests, and that not only the guests explain or understand the situation, but also we are communicating as staff members as well. And she's like, okay, great, sorry about that. And I was like, oh no, it's fine. And then I went back to the guests and again apologized, because I know that it was probably not the best situation to be in as a guest as well. So I felt I needed to apologize to them again, just so they knew, and again, hoped they enjoyed the dolphin show, and they did. I went up to them afterwards and they enjoyed it very well. So,
What's one skill you would like to improve on? Tell us how you will do so if you get this position.
So I believe communication is very important, both in everyday life, but also in the work environment as well. I do have a problem with the tone that is perceived when I am communicating with others, and I work on this all the time. I am constantly trying to improve this, both in my social life, but also in my professional life as well. I will continue to improve upon the tone I give off to other people. I often say things and they sound sarcastic, and in some situations I know that that is probably not the best. So I am of course going to continue to work on that if I do end up getting the position here.
What are your income expectations for this position?
So, being a college student wanting to go to vet school, I would like maybe $10 an hour or above, but I do realize that this is a nonprofit organization, and I realize that monetary value and that expense for a job here might not be in y'all's budgetary assignments. So really anything is well appreciated, because I just love animals, I love working with them, and this experience alone is enough.
What type of work environment do you prefer?
So personally, my ideal environment is open communication, open-mindedness, and respect. I truly believe that I respect other people's opinions no matter what, whether I agree with it or not, and I try my best to respect other people's and keep an open mind in all sorts of situations, and ideally I would want that same respect and open-mindedness back, and honesty is super important all the time in both work environment and personal life, because when you have a conflict with someone, it's best to just be honest and open, and also keep an open mind as well, in those situations as well. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future.